Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm just Harold. You ever been out somewhere and overheard two people having crazy conversations?
Yeah, well, we are those people. We've been having these conversations since college.
Yep, it's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts podcast, 90 Day Fiance, Love in Paradise recap of season 3, episodes 11 and 12. Be
Yes.
sure to like, subscribe, rate, and leave a review.
So we're doing both episodes this week because didn't have a chance to do it last week, and here we are. And I'm almost glad that we did this. I almost should have doubled them all up because that hour goes by pretty quickly, and especially as they're all saying goodbye. Matter of fact, when you watch it on Max, no longer HBO Max, just Max, and thank you Peacock for not doing the same thing and following suit and dropping the first part of your name. But it's one of those things that it drops down to like 42 minutes. What? That was their joke. They did that on Twitter.
Did they?
Yes. Okay. Peacock was like, "Hey, don't worry, we're not dropping the first part of our name." We're like, "Nobody asked you. Stop it." That's when you know. That's when you know the interns are working social media that week. You're just like, oh, okay. Even though I still say the most genius one though has got to be KFC. What is it? 7 herbs, 11. Was it? How is it? 7 herbs, 11 spices, or whatever. Whatever that is, herbs and spices. They're literally following the same number. Whatever that number is, that combination is what they're following. People named herb and people with spice. It's just like one of those Easter eggs out there in the social media Twitterverse.
I'm lost. I have no idea what you're talking about.
And you know what? I knew you would say that.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
What is this Twitter that you speak of? You know what Twitter is because you've been there. You know
what Twitter is, but everything you were doing with the KFC and the herbs and spices, I'm like, is he stroking out live on YouTube right now? What is he talking about?
If you go follow them and look at that thing, you'll see. But
okay.
Anyway,
give me some homework. I'll have to go take a look.
Oh boy, we know how you are with homework.
It gets done.
Well, look, man.
By me, but it gets done.
We got to get through. Yeah, exactly, right? Especially now with AI. We've got to get through all the couples today, right? So let's just go ahead and get started with, first of all, Valentine and Carlos in Barranquilla. Now, did you notice that Valentine conveniently left some things at Carlos's house just so they'd have to meet up one more time? Because remember what happened the last time they were talking and they were face to face?
But that's the standard. You always leave a little something behind just in case to give you a reason to have to, hey,
is that what you do?
Things. Well, I'm just saying that's normal, isn't it? You know, you ever have someone that just left some stuff at your house, you break up, and a week later, hey, you know that my comb is in your bathroom. Can I come by and pick it up?
How long do you keep it before you just say, you know what, F this and throw it out?
It depends on what it is, but I tend to have a 24-hour rule. If you left something in my house 24 hours, it's now property of the homeowner, and I can do what I want with it. But it depends. If it's like their, retainer or their glasses, I'm not gonna toss that. Well, we broke up. You ain't seeing shit.
But now the question becomes, because if it's a bad breakup, do they now have to sterilize that retainer multiple times just because of the things you may have done with it? Oops, it accidentally fell in the toilet.
Trust issues. Yeah, I don't. I broke up with somebody once, and I was like, I'm just gonna throw that toothbrush away. I don't trust it whatsoever. Toss that out. Let me just start fresh.
After you got it back?
Yeah, I'm just start fresh. I don't need this. I'm not gonna put that in my hair. I'm just gonna start all over. Appreciate the bag. It's going to the trash. I'm starting over.
What kind of women were you dating? Jesus.
That's not important. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Valentine and Carlos right now. So I have to say that this is one of the most boring breakups, or for a last meetup of a toxic couple I've ever seen. Like,
yes.
I was expecting some drama because they just have this toxic relationship. I was expecting some type of drama to happen, right. But it was just like, here's your stuff, and okay then. And Valentin is just cold. I mean, he's just like He's
Yo,
done. He's done.
that's because after they spray painted his hairline, the rest of his face couldn't move.
Yeah,
Apparently,
he was totally just, yep, I'm done. I'm done with all that.
but that's because okay, so here's the thing. They both want an apology because neither of them think they're wrong. They both believe they're right. And how many times have you seen relationships with this? It's the standoff. I guess it's the Colombian standoff because that's where they are. But, here it is. They're both being very stubborn in this moment. They both still love each other. They both still want the relationship. They both still can't stop arguing. So maybe it's great that they both didn't want to apologize. Maybe this is the best thing for them, right?
It's the best thing for them to break up.
Yeah.
Because I don't see how you go into a relationship with this level of crazy and stubbornness that they have. And I side with Valentin. I think Carlos should have been the one to apologize. And he was wrong. Carlos seems to be so heartbroken and all that crying he was doing. But, dude, you were kind of wrong in this. Valentin is a little bit crazy too, but that's their problem. Yeah. It's this crazy toxic thing that they have that I'm glad that they're going their separate ways.
Sanan's fan says, I predict they'll be back together by the reunion. Will they though? And wait a minute. Is there even there's never been a reunion for this show, right? Is there one this season? Because I haven't seen anything saying that
there was for the 90-day we did last time.
Yeah, but that was the real dude. This is the spinoff. This is the
stepchild. Oh, okay.
This is the stepchild of 90 Day Fiance.
Got it. I'm like, there was one with the one that we did before.
Yeah, that was 90 Day Fiance. That was the grandfather, the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that they both find their person and they avoid toxic relationships going forward because that's their problem. That they just had a very toxic relationship.
Here's the problem I have with them. They have this toxic relationship, right? And we all have dealt with somebody who's just a little bit crazy, right? At some point or another, we all have, right?
Just a scotch.
But usually there are perks with that.
They couldn't get to the perk part because none of them trusted each other to be a bottom.
Exactly.
So they never could
the perks that come along with a little bit of crazy.
Yeah. They never could explore that side because they both had trust issues. Like, wait a minute. If you do it, okay, you're gonna expect me to do it. Who's gonna go first? Yeah,
I'm not gonna let you do it first because then you're gonna change your mind. I'm like, oh, okay, well y'all are never gonna get. So they never had the benefits of this toxic relationship. All the toxicity, no fun. There's a big problem there.
It's just a lot of drama that just doesn't seem necessary,
right?
And definitely not healthy. So I'm glad they broke it off and. I'm glad Carlos's family, supported him throughout the whole deal because not every family is accepting, but they were like, hey, we're your family. We're here for you no matter what. And I thought that was great.
And he was always nervous from season 2, nervous about telling them. He didn't even, that's why the last boyfriend was so upset. It's like, wait a minute, you're going to bring this dude in and introduce him to the family, but you didn't want to tell them about me. So, like you said, good to see that. So at least there's some good news here. Yep. And Dolores and Sedan's fans are in the belief that they will be back together. And you may be right because toxicity, they're like magnets. They attract each other and they have no choice but they got to figure out that other part too, though.
Yeah.
Next couple trying to figure some stuff out. Matthew and Anna. And these two, man. Whew.
Yeah, Anna's, I thought she was about to break out some BDSM, on Matthew. I thought he was about to get pegged. Like the way she was dressed, I was like,
he probably did.
You better get ready.
Look, when you wear a blouse like he was wearing, you wear a blouse like he was wearing, you're gonna get pegged.
What was that shirt that he had on? I'm looking at him like this just looks weird. It looked like a t-shirt that your mom is like, this is now a dust rag. Yeah. It's just all messed up. Like this is a dust rag now. You don't wear this anymore. I polished furniture with it. I didn't understand that shirt that he had on, but Anna was coming to bring the funk. She's like, I'm gonna give him a night to remember. And I was like, uh-oh, get it, Matthew?
She's like, take the shirt off. He took it off. And, the thing that she said made you feel kind of good about this and about this couple, right?
Yeah, because when he takes the shirt off, she was saying that she loves his body. Like she's looking at Matthew like he's all that. And first when she said it, I'm just looking at it. I'm not going to judge another man for how he looks. But what I did appreciate, I'm sure there's a lot of women maybe on Twitter that don't think what Anna or doesn't see what Anna sees.
Mm-hmm.
But what I like about that is that's the kind of partner you want in life.
Yes.
You want somebody that's going to look at you and tell you that you are hot shit, whether you're, you got a dad bod, you got stretch marks, you got love handles, all these different things that we all have our own, that we're self-conscious about our own bodies. You want your partner that's going to look at you and be like, wow, you are freaking hot. So she thinks his body's the next best thing since sliced bread. And I loved it.
It was just one thing. She's like, I just love his long arms, how they touch his knees and ankles at the same time. Whatever it is. And you're right. It's just that because it's that one thing. The fact that because at least she's into him, and that's the key thing. Because there's, in this day and age of so much body shaming, you got to really love the fact that, like you said, it's not because you think it has to be. There are women who don't like the muscular body type. Right? There are women who like guys who wear glasses, like women who like when you put your spectacles on, they're like, yes, Terrell, come a little closer to the screen. Matter of fact, let me go watch this on the TV. And the other's like, shit, take it off. But you're right. Yeah. And it's good to hear that.
It is. That what they have is what I describe Walmart love. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean by Walmart love? You ever been at Walmart 1 o'clock in the morning and you just see two people holding hands, shopping, in love with each other, but you're just like, I don't want to touch either one of them. And I'm like, that's the kind of love you want in life. You want someone to give you that Walmart love look, that you are the best looking thing they've ever had. And I think Anna does that for Matthew. Mm-hmm. And obviously, we look at everybody that we've seen in Brazil, while they were at Carnival. And you and I might say, hey, well, I prefer that one over Anna. But for Matthew, there was no one prettier,
right,
more beautiful than Anna. And I think that's great. And so she gives him this awesome massage. And what I loved when she said, okay, massage is over. Now it's game time. I'm like, yes. Another thing you want in a partner. They're going to give you a massage. Hey, massage is over. It's game time. Turn around.
Flip it over. Kick the cameras out. Let's get it on. And apparently he did. It was game time. He apparently scored the winning shot because the next morning she did not want to get up.
Whatever. She was just tired. And I'm sure she didn't want to get up because it was the last day. They're going to be leaving to the airport and they got the sads. Now, let me ask you this. Did this bother you?
They were cute in the car, by the way.
And let me say, not bother, but this annoyed me. Mm-hmm. It's that cutesy talk. Just, I want you to go. I don't want to go eat. I'm gonna miss you. Just the way they're talking to each other. I'm like, oh, that's.
I knew that annoyed you.
I'm just like, ugh. I'm just. I know. I just love you so much. Oh, it just hurts me too. Oh no, I know. I just couldn't stand it. I was like, just stop.
Leave them alone, man.
Stop. It was just annoying. I was just like, ugh.
And
I don't want you to put me in your luggage.
Yeah, that's illegal. We'll both get arrested.
Smuggle me back with you if you love me. It was just annoying. Put me in your suitcase.
Well, you're not the only one. I mean, Robin G said it annoyed me too.
Thank you, Robin.
Let them be their little nerdy, cute self. It's okay. That's hell, it's fine. It's okay. They look so cute. They look so cute in the taxi cab ride to the airport that I forgave all that other crap.
They did. And I think we've all been there on that emotional goodbye, the drop off at the airport, or you're dropping someone else at the airport. Mm-hmm. I totally get that. And I'm really rooting for this couple. Yeah. I want them to make it. I want the visa to happen, and I want them to be together because out of all the couples, I tend to like them the best. But another thing that annoyed me about those two is what I call that entitlement. Mm. Why do they think it's unfair that they can't be together? Like, their fairness has nothing to do with the decision you made to date somebody who slid in your DMs in Dallas and they live in Brazil. Mm-hmm. And they have to get a visa and all this. Apparently she can't figure out a passport to come visit Texas because I guess that's hard. But
I mean, still need all those visas too, though.
You need a visa just to come vacation, to come for a week
to the States. Yes, you do.
To the U.S., you have to have a visa for that.
Yeah, yeah. You actually need a visa to come to the States. Yes, you do.
But my issue with that is her dream since she was a little girl is to to go to the States. Why did you wait until you met Matthew to now all of a sudden want a visa? You could have applied and got a visa where you can travel a long time ago. She's 27.
As you think, by the way.
She's 27. So you're saying when she was 21 and she started the process to get a visa just to go travel? Yes. Or let me highlight this. Yes, Salida. I don't have my glasses on. I think it's Maddie.
Yeah, put your spectacles back on.
Tourist visa. Yeah. You're telling me that from age 21 to 27, she had no opportunity to apply for a tourist visa?
She was busy partying.
Carnival doesn't last 24/7.
Hold up now. Okay, stop. I'm not. You know what? I'm not. Here's why I'm not going to allow you to do that. From 21 to 27, you weren't traveling all over the place either. Stop it.
Okay, from 21 to 27, I wasn't. But also from 21 to 27, I wasn't wishing I could be in America. I wasn't doing that. I was already here. If her goal was to come to the United States, and since she was a little girl, she could have started that process at 21. My goal was just to keep hanging out in San Antonio when I was 21, 27. So, bullshit.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but it's not especially as easy. I
didn't say easy. All I'm saying is she started to get a tourist visa before she even met Matthew. Mm-hmm. She could have done that if she wanted to. Nothing stopped her from getting a tourist visa. It's not about it being hard. It's she hasn't done it.
I will say so this is the one thing that gets me about them. I mean, and I get where she's going into that sense of like, well, this is something I've always dreamed about, right? But at the same time, the fact that where she's like, well, this has been a dream of mine. More so, I get why Matthew gets a little worried because, like Sanan's fan says, she's too busy being in the streets waiting for an American man. It's the easiest way. But I'm just saying, I don't know that it's just like in that space. And Indigo Blue has a great point. Money. That could be the other part of it.
Stop it.
What?
Nope.
What?
You can't say money has been the issue for 7 years. If it's something that you really want to do, just to get a tourist visa.
You know how expensive it is to come here?
I know how expensive it is. I get it. I'm not knocking
Have you been a tourist in this country?
I'm not knocking that. What I'm saying, I'm not saying for her to come out here. What I'm saying is for her to just get a tourist visa.
To do what?
That once she has it, eventually she can come out here. I have a passport.
The visa is not it's not a lifetime visa. Just FYI.
I understand that, but a passport I have for 10 years. I don't travel internationally every year, but I have it just in case. And when it expires, even if I don't have an international trip planned, I'm going to get it renewed.
When did you get your passport?
Just in case. It's not about me. I'm on top of my shit. I'm talking about mama. So yeah, I'm on top of all my stuff. I've had my passport.
Yeah, now you are.
No, I've had it for a while. I have my passport for a while. But my whole point is, if you had a dream that one day an American is going to move you to the U.S., she could have got a tourist visa a long time ago and wait to meet that American man. He could pay for the flight for her to go out there. The flight from Brazil to Dallas, Texas, is not the same cost as a tourist visa. She could have got the tourist visa.
That one day.
No. All I'm saying
I'll meet an American man online and he will fly.
To me, it's about accountability. You and I, we hold men accountable. I want to hold women accountable too.
Okay.
On a story has a whole lot of holes in it. That makes no sense. Mm-hmm. That from age 21 to 27, she didn't even try to get a tourist visa.
She's been busy learning English.
She teaches English, right?
I'm trying here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're trying to give her. I'm just like, there's nothing you have that can be like, you know what? That's a valid point of why Anna didn't go get her own tourist visa.
I tried
before she met Matthew.
Robin is on your side too. She says the tourist visa can't cost that much, and as long as she's had that, she could have been got flued out. Now,
exactly.
Do you understand where flued out came from? That came from the City Girls. Do you know who the City Girls are?
No, I do not.
Okay, I'll tell you later. I didn't want you to go all me and grab a police on Robin for that.
No. I don't know who the City Girls are. Is that like a girl group? Like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'll explain to you later.
Okay.
Let's go to your part of the world and the country of Texas, and the state of Houston. That's where April's from. Back in Santo Domingo with Valentin this time, and she calls him over before she leaves so they can have a conversation. And he walks in and it's like, all right, what you want to talk about? Let's get to it.
Let's get this over. Well, first off, before they can have any talking, hey, you need to go wash your hands.
Yeah.
It's like, he's not coming in to touch you or do anything. Hey, go wash your hands.
Yeah.
First. I'd have been done right there. He'd be like, see, this is why. I key.
I key. I'm gonna stand on the outside of the door. How about that?
Yeah, we can talk out here in the hallway. I don't have to go inside. We don't have to worry about it. And then I love how Juan sits down and does the little translator app, and pretty much like, it's gonna get down to business. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, here's the problem I have with this and the editing of this show, right? And I know it's nitpicking, but I don't need for you to give me the subtitles of him speaking in Spanish and then give me back the English translation on the app and then have her say it in English and then you play back the Spanish translation. Why? And then give me the subtitles. What are we doing? I know I'm nitpicking.
They're just trying to cover their bases. You got closed captioning. You got all these different folks that could be watching. You don't know what someone's issue is. That they're just covering their bases.
I just think it was overkill. Like if English is the language we're going with when she speaks, give me the translation when he speaks. I don't need to. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm with you. You. So they get into it, and she's like, "Well, I didn't come here to be by myself and sleep in a cold bed." And I just loved Juan because Juan's pretty much like, I told you why I didn't spend time with you. You talk trash about my family.
Yep.
I don't understand. We talked about this. I think April is just more bothered that this poor trainer from the DR is rejecting her and all of her finances, education, and her smarts and beauty. Exactly.
Money. And he's like, it's not always about money. Stop. And that's the problem with people with money sometimes, is the fact that, and it happens to a lot of us. You gain money as you go along, and all of a sudden the money becomes a little bit more important, right? And the flexing of it becomes that, and that's the issue. And he's just like, I'm still a man, and you're still gonna have to respect me. I'm an adult man. You're gonna have to respect me, and you have no respect because you feel you're better than me because you have more money than me. And you know what? I applaud him. Like, I'm not fighting to go to los Estados Unidos. I can stay right here, okay?
Yeah, because when he comes, he's got to put up with more of her shit.
Exactly.
Because he can't work. And so she's going to be in total control.
Yes.
And I think that's her issue. And it's unfortunate because there's a lot of positive things about April. I just wonder, what's her dating life going to be like now? Like, who would want to deal with all that? I think she doesn't want to meet the person who's equally successful or more successful.
You know what's going to happen? Her DMs are flooded right now. I guarantee you her DMs are flooded right now from guys who are like, oh yeah, I could put up with that until you have to put up
until you have to. It sounds great, but until
like,
you
well,
have
she's cute, I can deal with it.
Yeah, no, you can deal with it, but as soon as you finish, that's when you're gonna start thinking like, wait a minute. I don't think I can deal with all this stuff anymore. Of course you can't, but his whole body language while he was sitting there was he's done. And I loved at the end, she's like, is there anything else you want to say? He's like, honestly, no. Here. Like, that's it. He could have just said no. He didn't have, honestly, no, read that.
But here's the thing. She suggests that they take a break, but then says in her one-on-one that she was really just ready to end the relationship. Then just say it.
Well, because here's the challenge. She's trying to say like she's in control. Juan ended the relationship. She's not accepted it. So now it's for her to say, I think this should end because no, he already did.
Yeah. When he disappeared.
He that was it. He was done. So he ended the relationship, but I think she still feels maybe she has some control in all this, like you don't.
And remember I told you that her DMs will be flooded? Look, perfect example. Darren says, love all the booty shots of April leaving. Producers know how to get the ratings.
It's great. I mean, she's a gorgeous girl. I hope she finds a great guy in her DMs that she can connect with and find that happy, happy ever after. Yeah. But I applaud Juan for sticking to his guns and saying, no.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Salida says April lacks emotional intelligence and a little compassion. Sanan's fan says she's not used to rejection. And Dolores said April has issues. I don't blame Valentin for ending the relationship. Just like you said, he ended the relationship. Yeah, you're right. He did.
Yeah, I mean, he did. And I agree that I think she does lack a little emotional intelligence. Could be part of her issues with her OCD or whatever else. Maybe she's on the spectrum somewhere, but she's just a total different type of person, and she doesn't realize what she's doing.
Right.
But she's just oblivious to it. She just thinks everything that she's doing is like okay, and everybody should just accept that. It's like, no, you have some challenges.
But then, I mean, at the same time, if she has anxiety from these things, is that something that she should then suffer through for somebody else? Because if that was the case, and she was suffering through all of this for somebody else, then we'd have an issue in that space. If the guy was like, no, well, you have to deal with it all the time. I'm never washing my hands, damn it. And then we'd have a problem there. I mean, yeah, she's a little bit extreme, but if that's what gives her anxiety, especially in this day and age when we've got to really be there for everyone's emotional sensitivity, at this point, do we have to have a little bit for her?
No, because and the reason why I say no to her is because here in Houston, she's fine, right? You're in the Dominican Republic and you're visiting this person's family, and just her whole behavior and attitude was very disrespectful, yet she doesn't see anything wrong with it. So that's the problem.
Karen just sums it all up. April is a fool.
Karen's like, I'm done. April's a fool.
She's like, wrap this up. Let's get to the next one. So we'll get to Juan and Jessica. She's going to go join him on the cruise as she's meeting up as they dock in Galveston. And she still doesn't trust this man, even though she has all the passwords to all of his social media.
Well, that's all you need. You have all the passwords. Nothing's ever going to happen. She's good.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, if you got to get to that level where you got to get all the passwords to your partner's social media, then you should be really evaluating y'all's relationship or reevaluating it. But good for her. I thought the ship looked amazing, though. I mean, I've been on a Carnival cruise, but that ship, I was like, ooh, I am curious what the difference on that ship would be, because it just seemed a whole lot bigger than the one I was on.
I have never been really interested in getting on a cruise, I'll be honest. And I remember when we did the ferry from Montserrat to Antigua, and I saw one of the cruise ships coming, and I was like, wait a minute. And watching people have to get off, I'm like, you know what? That's another reason, because it took forever for that thing to dock, and then took forever for them to get off. I'm like, my patience would run out.
I've only done it once. I did the one Carnival cruise. I haven't been on another one since.
I heard they're fun though.
It's not bad. It's not bad. But I think I went, I want to say 2012, maybe. Yeah, it was a family, like a family deal that we all did. But it wasn't too bad.
If I ever do one, I think it'd probably be a Disney one just for my daughter, and would do that because I understand everything's there and there's so much going. That's probably what I do. But yeah, for me, my vacation, fly me. I just want to fly there. Let me get there and go. Tina says Carnival cruise. I thought you were bougie.
I only went on one, but I experienced it. And quick shout out to my Aunt Tony for popping in on Facebook. Appreciate that. I've only been on one. I'm cruises are cool, but I think you have to. It's all about who you go with, having the right partner. And to your point, there's a lot of stuff to do, but it's the same stuff to do. So when I was on the Carnival cruise, there's a comedy show, there's a club, but the club plays the same music. It's the same set list every single night. If you go all 4 or 5 nights, you're going to hear the exact same order.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just, there's stuff to do, but you go with the right group of people, it can be fun. But I had a decent time.
Well, apparently, Juan really loves it on it because, of course, he gets to flirt with different women. He gets to meet different people all the time. use the same lines over and over again, and but Jessica joining him on this one, she's just so excited to go and show that this is her man. I'm gonna kiss you so hard on this balcony,
so everybody can see. I want everybody to know we together. So here's what's funny is Juan is wondering if he'll be happy in Wyoming, and I'm like, no, you won't. You won't be happy in Wyoming. Just embrace it. Be a dad. And this is you're just playing the cards that, well, you can't say you were dealt. You chose this life. Right. But you're not going to be happy in Wyoming. And Jessica never sold Wyoming as something awesome. But he is not going to be happy at all. No, he is not going to be happy there.
Yeah. I didn't. I thought that from the very beginning with the whole cow pasture and all this. She never sold this place. And then even now, still like, well, you're going to be okay being off the cruise where it's cold and there's not much to do. There are no cruises, no ocean, no clean water, no people of color, no seasoning. Yeah. I'm like, Jesus Christ, woman, do you want him to show up or not?
Yeah, no, he's not going to be happy there, but this is what they chose to do.
Yeah.
And so they're out, doing some shopping and trying to pick up stuff for the boys. And I love that conversation where he's trying to tell her that you need to be a little bit harder on the boys.
Yes. It's like the Lord says, Jessica's kids are not well behaved. One will not tolerate their behavior. That's what he's saying. Like, hey, I didn't grow up with this. You don't talk back. And that's all he would say. And he basically told her that, the boys have the power over her and she needs to be hard on them. And of course, she's offended.
Of course. He's like, well, just so you know, I've been doing this 9 years, so I think I'm okay. And it's like, he's not saying that you're not okay and you've been doing it wrong for 9 years. What he's saying is your two boys are in charge, and that shouldn't be, how it should be. And now that they're about to have a boy, I can't wait to see what little Juan Jr. is going to be like compared to them, because Juan is not going to take any of that mess.
Right. But my brothers are like, that's them. This is you, son.
Yeah, I don't care what your brothers are doing. If I see you doing it, I'm gonna knock you out.
And yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with these two, man. Because they, of course, they get back to Galveston. She's got to go, and she's not getting back on the ship after that. So they're not going to see each other till the baby's born. And it's kind of, sad that he's not going to be there. I like the fact that he was at least able to see an ultrasound because he felt left out of the process.
Yeah,
I totally understand why. Because the last thing you want is the woman carrying your child to have to do all of these appointments, everything by herself.
Yeah.
Because you're going to hear about it later. You're going to hear about it later.
And in this case, I mean, they both have a valid excuse, right? It's not like she's doing it by herself because he doesn't want to go. Because the game is on. Like, hey, go to your appointment, tell me how it is. Yeah, this is just what their situation is. And I'm sure he's, not excited the fact that he can't be there in the delivery room, to welcome his son, but I'm curious to see what happens to this couple after the fact, which is why I wish there was a reading. I want to know, what happened? Did he move to Wyoming? What's it like now with the dynamic of Juan's baby and then her two kids and that whole thing? And then also the kid's dad, right? The two boys' dads, because if Juan's going to try to change himself in the house, because I'm wondering, are those two boys like that when they're around Jessica? But when they go to their dad's house, is it a different ballgame?
Right.
Or did this Jessica and her ex-husband, did they both just let the boys do whatever?
And maybe it's a conversation that Juan and the ex-husband have just to, hey. And they may see eye to eye, and she's the one that doesn't see, is not there with them. And now, she says, I'm surrounded by boys. Well, now you're going to be surrounded by two men who think differently parenting-wise than you do. But she has the boys most of the time, so therefore it doesn't matter. What she says goes anyway. Right. But now if you have an extension of her ex-husband in the house, it could cause a little problem there. So
yeah, and maybe the ex-husband's like, Juan, thank you. I've been saying this for 9 years.
Why do you think I left?
Yeah.
When you leave, you can come stay with us over here.
You and your son, little Juanito, y'all both come over. It's all good.
Do you think he was a little disappointed he was having a son, though?
No, I don't think so. Because I
Mm.
think he was probably more excited. I think you and I have talked about this. I always said that if I ever had kids, my fear is that it would be girls
Mm-hmm.
and it wouldn't be any boys. And so I think he was just thinking like, I'm probably gonna have a girl, and just probably embrace that thought. And now finding out having a boy, he's excited because he's already started to plan out the boy's life. The boy's gonna like soccer. The boy's gonna like I'm sorry, football. The boy's
Mm-hmm.
gonna like to play football with Juan because that's what he wanted as a kid. His son's gonna be like that, which Juan, I hate to tell you, what if he doesn't like it?
Yeah. And there's that too. But so because I thought he looked a little sad. I mean, still happy, baby's healthy, but it seemed like he really wanted a girl.
Michelle GM says Juan ended it 3 days before. I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that, Michelle. Put some in here because I'm like, what happened? I have more questions.
I bet you do, because yeah, which would we be surprised?
No.
Not at all. Not at all. Next couple up though. And Michelle, once you get them, we'll come back to that once we get through some of these other couples here. But Jordan and Everton, these two right here. Oh, wait a minute! Before we even get to Jordan and Everton, hold on. Let's do this because you see, I like the fact that you're quick on there, Michelle. See, I said all the guys in the DM just to make sure. She's on the other one. Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
She hadn't responded to the Juan ended it 3 days before comment.
She's rolled a little behind on it. She jumped in a little later.
Oh, she's talking about no, yeah, I know what she's talking about. I was thinking Valentine and April because he had ended it a few days.
No, that's
before.
what she's talking about there.
Got it.
So here we are, Everton and Jordan, right? These two right here. This has been a mess. They're leaving his mom's house, and you notice something about his mom as they're leaving.
His mom couldn't care at all that Jordan was leaving. She's all right then.
Make sure you're good to each other.
Yeah, just all right. Well, I got stuff to do, so okay. Yeah, Everton's mom doesn't care at all about them, or not about them, about Jordan.
Well, I mean, now let's be honest. Jordan tried the best to be a little bit. Maybe she just doesn't care for the cameras and all this other stuff. It's just like, okay, I'll put up with this for a little bit because I know my son's gonna make a little bit of money off of this, even though he really doesn't, because Jordan's gonna make the money, which means he'll get it. Because okay, anyway,
Yeah.
they go from there to meeting Everton's friend Sheldon at the jerk center and to get some jerk chicken and Dominoes. And the phone rings, and this irked me. Why did Jordan feel the need to say, "Who's calling?" It's not your damn phone. Why are you worried?
Well, he's given her trust issues, so
Okay,
of
well,
course, there's
that.
a reason she might ask that question. But did you love her explaining dominoes to us? I thought that was hilarious. It's a social game they play in Jamaica and Cayman. I'm like, Jordan, they play that game a lot of places. Dominoes is just not on the island.
So that's where she saw it in Cayman, and she saw it in Jamaica.
Yeah, I was just like a lot of people, which leads me to believe is Everton her first, person of color that she's dated. Maybe this is her first time putting a little coffee in her cream, and so this is new to her.
Well, it's been 12 years.
So long 12 years, but she hasn't been around the whole time to play dominoes. But great. But here's the kicker for me. So Everton takes a work phone call because there's that emergency on the boat. So he takes a work phone call.
Sure, it was.
And so then she used that opportunity to ask his best friend some questions.
Why did she feel the need to put him in such a place to answer these questions? One, but two, why did he answer?
Yes. Yes, there's no way I would ever do that. I'd be like, oh, what? I'm not too sure about that. Have you talked to him about it? Y'all should talk about that. Well, is he giving someone some money? What? Giving somebody money?
After the first question, it was over. He waited way too long to answer. It's like,
yeah. Yeah, I knew about that. And, he said he was going to end it. Well, do you know if he's been giving her money? I saw some of the money orders, but Sheldon, stop it.
Yo, Sheldon was so bad, man. But here's the thing. They get in the car, they're arguing, of course, and finds out that he's been given the money. Um, because Sheldon obviously ratted on him. And she's going back and forth with him. And one of the things I did notice, though, she said to him, I'm in a mood. Just give me a second before we talk about what the issue is.
Mm-hmm.
Good move on her part. Did you at least respect that?
She gave him a warning sign. You know, born to Americans, right? Warning sign. She gave it to him. You like, see what I did there? See, I listened to the music you introduced me to. So at least she gave him a heads up. So that's they're still on my Pandora. They're at the station I listen to. So she did let him know, and he was just like, okay. But here's what's interesting to me about that: when they were packing up the stuff, I started thinking to myself, I've not really seen any intimacy with this group, with this couple, outside of the naked photo shoot they did by the waterfall. I've not seen anything. So I'm like, are y'all really even a couple?
Yeah, you know what? So here's the thing, because I remember you said this a while back, right? About the phone call felt fake, and even a couple people in the chat had said that as well too, right? And I think I'd even brought up the fact about the lack of intimacy from them before, and I just kind of brushed that to the side. And here it is, you bring it up again. We're at the end of the season, and you're right. We haven't seen any love, anything, any chemistry really between these two.
No, not at all. So that makes me question a whole lot. And so when she's in the car going off about him giving money, Everton's making it sound like, he was helping his community. Well, people have helped me, and I like try to help other people if I can. And, before that girl, I would ask her for a few bucks and she would give it to me. So when she asked, of course I would do that for her.
Yes.
I was like, do you hear yourself, Everton? Do you hear how crazy that stuff sounds?
Well, I mean, the girl lent him some money before, and then when she asked for something back, he was like, I guess I got to give it. I owe her. This why you don't borrow money from people, because therefore you don't want to feel like you owe them.
Well, funny thing to me is he's trying to flip it. Well, she needs to work on her attitude, coming in with all that screaming. I'm like, Everton, stop it. If you wanted to check her, you would have done that a long time ago. She yells at you like this all the time. This isn't just like, oh, camera's on, we're in the car, I'm going to let loose. And you're giving away the money. Apparently, she was missing meals. She wasn't paying utility bills to make sure he had money that he was passing off to other folks. What she said. That's why I said apparently. According to her.
Well, then she decides that her and Everton shouldn't be together as a couple anymore. They shouldn't be in a relationship, right? But they can stay in business together. How does this make sense? Because like Robin says, the audacity to give that woman Jordan's money. What do you think is going to happen with the business money?
It's going to go to some chicks. But yeah, I don't understand why she wants to stay in business. Here's what we're good at. We're good at business together. No, you're not. She might be good at business because she's funded a whole lot of things. Everton is not good with it. And it must be that she is stuck in this deal. Like, right. She just can't walk away.
Well, I think she sees opportunity and doesn't want to miss out on it, because she's like, well, we already bought the land. I don't want to miss out, and I can't do it without him. And I'm like, well, technically you could if you wanted to, but you just don't know if somebody else is gonna get you for the money. So only thing you can do is hope the person that's gonna get you for your money is the person that you know, not the person that you don't know.
Well, and Everton can't afford to buy her out.
Right. So
she's stuck, in this deal. So now she's probably just trying to figure out, how do I make something out of nothing?
Right.
Because if she walks away, she loses. Everton has it all.
But does she lose everything? Because she only gave him power of attorney. Doesn't mean he has control of everything.
Well, legally, and I'm no lawyer, but I see where you're going. But the challenge she has is she lives in Dallas. He lives there in Cayman. And so
Okay, let's
how
not
can
act like
she
the
make
Cayman Islands
sure?
are not accustomed to doing foreign transactions.
No one said they aren't, but yeah, no one said they aren't. But the fact that he's there on the ground,
Yeah.
he might have a little bit more, from a networking standpoint, have a little bit more pull to make things go his way.
Right.
And he's gonna have to provide signatures and stuff, just like she would. So I mean, it's gonna be harder for her to totally take control of it from Dallas, and not knowing the Cayman government.
That's true. I'm with Dolores though. I don't believe Jordan is that broke, right? Because now she's like, I was missing meals, giving him. You started your OnlyFans or whatever your service was to your video service and delivering these fetish videos during the pandemic when everyone was stuck on their phones and people had money to spend, so money was being spent, so money was being made. There are a lot of content creators that made a lot of money during the pandemic because they were trying to get that content out, right? And the platforms were paying well. So it's not like she was broke. She had income coming in and a good amount that she was able to send some to him. So
yeah, I don't think she's broke because even with her OnlyFans, you know, in the content that she's putting out, even if she has 1,000 subscribers at $5 a month, that's still good money on top of whatever her day job is.
Right, because that's still $60,000 a year, regardless.
Right.
So Lydia says, do you think that he may be stringing her along?
Yes. Yeah, we've been saying that for a while. We totally think he's in it for the money. He's trying to protect the bag. Because if you look at his whole demeanor about everything, he's just so nonchalant about it. That if he really cared about her, he would respond, I think, differently than the way he has with everything else that's happened. The whole deal with him telling his family, "Oh, we're not ready to get married," knowing that pissed her off. And it's just like, well, you know, I never said that. Yeah, we got to talk about it. So I think he's totally stringing her along.
Dina has a great point as to why we don't believe Jordan missed any meals. She saves money on clothes.
Yeah.
She may make up for the lotions and well, no, she doesn't because she's not worried about being ashy, so she's fine.
Yeah, no, 100%. She's walking around the house naked, in the backyard naked, so she's good.
Exactly.
Now, for Everton to say that he is a grown, what do you say? I'm a grown man, and she has to show respect. I'm like, a woman who is financing you is not going to respect you.
Right.
Why would she respect you?
April and Valentin, yeah.
Yeah, why would she respect you? She's paying for everything. What do you have to get from that?
And that's why you don't let somebody have control like that.
Well, good for Jordan for saying that, you know, she wants to end the relationship. And I really think she should pull out of the whole business deal. But even when Everton dropped her off, I don't think he even cared that she said that.
No, he really didn't.
No.
Because even still, he's like, well, there'll be other times. And she's like, no, there won't. You know, even before they got there. But you're right. He was just so nonchalant about it. But then again, we haven't seen any good chemistry between these two at all. So not surprised by what we saw from them in this, right? So, all right, let's get on to this next couple, man, because we have two more couples to get to. And why? Because it's really supposed to be only one more, but it's two because we have a new couple, Scott and Liz.
You threw me for a second. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's one couple left. And you said two more couples. I'm like, what? I'm like going through my notes. I'm like, did I get to go pee and miss a whole?
Put on the composition book. I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't see that.
Look, Scott applying the pressure, man. He is, you know, this is the perfect example of desperation does not look good on you.
As they say, thirsty.
Yes.
If there was a meme I could put for him being thirsty, but Scott is just super thirsty. He's saying all this. I laughed so hard. He's just pouring his heart out to Liz and, hey, I love you. And Liz said, oh, you're so sweet. Like the moment you tell someone you love them and their response is, oh, you're so sweet. No, abort the mission. Get out.
The problem is the person saying that I love you in that situation never hears that part.
Yeah, I don't know how he didn't hear it, because if I drop the L bomb and then someone tells me, "Oh, Terrell, you're so sweet," I'm like, I just got friend zoned.
But
Like
yeah,
that's exactly where I would take it. I would never say the L word again because I feel like I got friend zoned.
but that's why you don't just throw it out there like that, right? I mean, first of all, people use that way too loose for too many wrong reasons, and he figured here it is. But he was just caught up in the emotion. He just finished dealing with Lydia and Nicole's crazy ass for the last two days. I think is what they said. Um, it was a long ass 2 days. If it was only 2 days, boy, Jesus. But man, jeez, I understand why he's like, oh my God, you're here. Thank you. You first of all, you beautiful woman. I love you. Here, have some money. I love you. Let's go to this beach resort. I love you. Ready to come back to America with me? Because I love you.
And she finally just loses it. And you know what it reminded me of? Remember that time you and I lived together in the efficiency, and I had company over, and you're sitting there trying to study, and at some point you just got mad. You're just like, "Damn it!" Just got up.
Yes,
that's what much she just couldn't take it anymore. But
talkers.
Liz was just out, and he just keeps talking so much about the relationship that I was like, he's gonna run her off. Mm-hmm. And the whole time I'm like, Liz just wants to jump out of that van, and she just wants to get out. She wants to jump out, do a tuck and roll, and go on with the rest of her life. And then he asks her if do you see yourself coming to the U.S. with me? What?
And then we find out what really happened, because as she's talking about it, she goes, when she first met him, he was fun. He was this fun guy. She's an older guy, but he's fun. Okay, cool. I can see myself having some fun with him. And the problem is he saw her. She's an attractive woman, and then so he's like, she showed him his attention because she's making her laugh, and so she falls for him, and then he falls head over heels, upside down, inside out, and falls in love. And then he was no longer fun. He became possessive. And that's where, and you know what? We saw this. Look how quickly that happened now. And she hadn't even touched him really, but she gave him a little hug, gave him a little kiss. He didn't know what to do. So imagine what was happening when he was in Colombia after he got a little taste.
True. Yeah, he probably went crazy because Lydia wouldn't touch him. Mm-hmm. And so he finally got a kiss from somebody.
Yeah.
And so he got all excited about that. But you have to admit, the resort that he took her to, the resort was dope. I like that resort. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna have to definitely check that out. But again, he runs her off.
Yeah.
And then he's trying to find her, and she's crying like, I just need space. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, when a woman tells you she needs space, give her the damn space.
Right.
And just wait. She will eventually tell you at some point. But don't hound her when she's crying. I just need space. Well, no, but what's going on? Talk to me.
Wait a minute. I think we're forgetting something here because this is Scott. We're forgetting something here. And Selena just brought it up. Said, look, I was confused. I thought that she was there to fight for his love. Remember, she said that.
No, she didn't say I'm here to fight for his love. What she's saying is, I want to see what could have happened, because she knows that she bailed on him. She wouldn't say fight for his love.
She said something along those lines, and she did laugh with it, like jokingly, but he saw those.
She saw him as, this is a free trip to the DR, and I'm going to have some fun with the Scott.
Yes.
And we're going to do some things. We're going to sit around. We're going to hang out. We're going to some Cocas and some Sprite. I was telling the story Sunday, a Sprite, but a Scott. She was just here to have some fun, it just didn't work out. I mean, look how quickly, within 2 hours, 2 hours, she was just like, I can't.
2 hours was all it took. And she went ahead, got her stuff, packed it all up, got out of there. No, I just need space. I don't even want to talk to you about it. Gets a separate room, and then books a new flight, and then just leaves the next day. Like, yo, I'm out.
Yeah, she called him creepy, which no guy ever wants to be called creepy. Yeah, but I could totally see it, just the way that he was just so, pouring his heart out to this person. So you just give it space, hang out, have fun, and not talk about all that relationship, love, drama stuff. But So she bails the next morning when she's getting ready to leave. Like her whole body language, she couldn't wait to
Mm-hmm.
get the goodbyes over with so she can get the hell away from a Scott.
Yeah.
She was like, I am done. I can't wait to get out. He's still just, I'm always going to be here for you. Isn't that creepy? Hey, I know you want to get away from me. I'll always be here for you.
Yeah.
Always.
Now,
I'll always be here for you.
Michelle says that she said the first time, Liz said the first time she was overwhelmed by him wanting to get serious. And then he did the same thing again, which is true. He literally just repeated, but just that much faster that she was like, oh, hell no. Mistake.
Within hours.
Yeah.
He went like 0 to 60.
And Darren says, a Scott is more clingy than a wet t-shirt.
Yeah.
Facts. Well, once she leaves, that leads us back to Scott and Lydia. So these two get together because it's 2 days later. Now, see if I follow this timeline correctly. He spent 2 days with Lydia. That frustrated the crap out of him so much that he was like, the hell with this. The next day, flies in Liz. She's there for 2 days, right? Because, well, he says 2 days, but she really was. She's there for like a day and a half, maybe 25 hours, really and truly, right? But then he texts Lydia when Liz leaves, wants to meet up with her, decides he wants a second chance, and she agreed to meet because she said Nicole dominated the conversation last time. No lies told, right there.
Why, Scott? Scott, why do you want to go get back with Lydia? You knew that was a no-go. Mm-hmm. The language barrier was your biggest problem that you even talked about. So what happens when you decide to meet up with Lydia because you want to clear the air and come clean? Well, her phone doesn't have Wi-Fi. Now y'all can't communicate. So you got to go flag down a translator, which is your biggest issue. Like, Scott, that's just so dumb.
Yeah, it really is. And it was at least we didn't have to sit through the dual translation like we did through April and Valentin, though, using the apps.
True. But, we didn't have to wait to the back and forth with the phone. So I'm like, wait, he asked her for a second chance hours after Liz bailed on him. So it goes back to his desperation. And then so Lydia is trying to listen to all this, and Lydia mimicking Liz was funny. No, Colombia. Did I want some money for clothes? The way she was doing it, I was laughing. I was just like, that is hilarious. And Scott has no idea what she's talking about. So then Scott starts to tell her the story after he pushes back and starts crying about the fact that, could you imagine? Hey, I don't want to be with you. This is not going to work out. I'm going to go be this other person. Then you go try the other person for a couple of days. They bail. You come back crying about the person that you really fell in love with and opened your heart to, but she left. So now let's see what we can do together.
Yeah. And at that point, Lydia's just like, okay, you know what? To be fair, what Scott said, though, Lydia started with insults, right? And he's like, come on, let's just talk. Then he starts crying in front of her. So she drops even more insults, which I agree with her, though, because you mean to tell me you were with me, said you're coming here to be with me. Then you say you get frustrated and you leave, and you fly in the ex that you said had just reached out to you out of the blue, and all of a sudden they're here?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't blame Lydia for being wrong at all, and Lydia should not give him a second chance. Scott needs to be by himself and figure his own life out. And Lydia should move on.
And that's what he said he needs to do. He said he needs to grow up a little bit, and he doesn't want to grow old alone. So I hate to tell you this, brother.
Yeah. DJ, you're sure right. Sitting in my face crying about another woman, shaking my damn. Could you imagine? Like if some girl did that to me, and like, let me back up. I've had this happen to where someone started dating me, left me for someone else. That didn't work out. And then they come back to me and to tell me how it didn't work out, and they got the sads, but they want to see where this can go. I'm just like, can't trust you at all. Kick rocks.
I have questions. I won't put them here.
I have answers. This is a long time ago, and We're still friends on social, but I don't think she follows the podcast, so she wouldn't know I was talking about it.
And this will be the first episode she watches.
Yeah, that'll be the one. She knows. I've told her that before. I'm like, nope, can't give you another chance because if you did that to me again, I would lose it.
They said, Darren says, every woman loves to be a plan B. Yeah, that's exactly what he made Lydia. And was like, well, I want to be honest, so I'm just going to tell her. So he goes off. He has this introspective moment in the hot tub talking about, he's lied, he's cheated, he's deceived women. He needs to be better. He needs to be more honest and truthful. And that's what he's going to do moving forward because he's got to make his dad proud, right?
Maybe he is. Maybe he is. Hopefully, watching this back, he realizes he has some growth that he needs to do, some growing he needs to do, maybe some therapy. But it's a ridiculous ask that he tried to pull off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You treated Lydia like leftover pizza, and what I mean by leftover pizza, you can say, "Hey, what are we gonna cook for dinner tonight? Should we go somewhere to?" No, we got pizza at the house. Lydia was the backup. I could go out and do something. I could go make a new meal, but we got some leftover pizza in the fridge. And so he treated her like old leftover pizza. Old leftover.
I know exactly where you're going. I know exactly where you're going with that.
Old, moldy, crusty, leftover pizza that you just got to heat up and try to get him a slice. And it wasn't happening. And so kudos for Lydia for knowing her worth and saying that I don't want to be a part of any of this.
Which was worse? Him trying to get her back or her rolling around in the ocean in her dress?
I don't know what that was. If that was like a cleansing ritual that she's doing to get the Scott's germs off of her, I have no idea. But she was living her best life in her little out dress and just out in the water and just moving on. She wants to be on Mars and Scott on Jupiter, and she'd be happy.
Oh my God. Look, man, before we get out of here, back to some of these comments here from earlier, especially dealing with the cruise, because Crystal says, I enjoy cruises because you get to unplug from everyday life, right?
Facts you do. I mean, you can pay for the Wi-Fi if you want, but when I was there, that was the first time in my professional career where I didn't have my phone on me all the time. I just left it in the room because I couldn't use it. And so it just felt great to just totally disconnect from everything. So I agree with that 100%.
Robin G says, cruises are for old people and kids.
Depends. Certain cruises are.
Wait a minute. Did you say depends? Are those free on the cruise?
No, it depends. It depends on what cruise you're going to. It's like, I remember hearing about the Tom Joyner cruises. I'm like, that sounds fun, but I don't think I'm going to enjoy being around the people on the cruise. Wouldn't mind hearing the acts, but I don't think I want to hang out with all these folks that are going to be on this cruise, right? And there's so much stuff to do. Like when the cruise I went on, people had kids there, but you didn't see kids everywhere. Like it wasn't like they're all over the place, like going to Chick-fil-A at lunch. It wasn't just kids running around the cruise ship. So it's not that bad.
Let me talk about the Tom Joyner cruise. I gotta go to work tomorrow, man. What's wrong with you?
What? I'm just saying, I wouldn't really be excited about going. I hear
I gotta go
all
to
the
work,
years
man.
I've heard.
What's
I'm
wrong
like,
with you?
oh man, that sounds like that could be nice. And I'm just like, all the people that are gonna be on it.
I will say, from what I hear, I've never been on a cruise. I've never done a cruise. I haven't been on this one. I almost went a couple years ago because I knew they were gonna go to St. Kitts, and that's the only reason I would have gone on that cruise. But yeah, it's just never been one of my things to want to do it. Dina says, replying to Robin, saying that it's for old people and kids. She said, I went on a cruise to Ibiza, and I was one of the oldest people on the boat. There were a bunch of wild Euros in their 20s. I can imagine. And wait, you went on a cruise to Ibiza. So let's start there, okay?
Yeah. Don't know what you're expecting to see, but yeah.
Definitely not the old folks. And then Michelle says, I'm getting ready to go on a, let's see if I can get this to finally go. There we go. Getting ready to go 5-day cruise with Carnival this Saturday. I pray I don't see Juan.
Hey, but I hear he bakes some mean drinks. Give you a little flirtiness.
Yeah, there you go. And therefore, he gets the good tips. And Last one. Najee says, Joe doesn't know the City Girls?
No. I still have no idea what that is. Like, I was like, is that school? Is that a group? Is that a show?
City Girls a group, hip hop group, two girls, JT and Young Miami. And you would love them.
What is there a song that I would probably know? You knowing me, would I twerk?
No.
Did you say twerk?
Yeah.
Oh, they have a song called Twerk?
Yeah.
No.
Hey, don't feel bad. Robin's right there, which says I don't know the City Girls either. Look.
Unite, Robin.
Here, you get off here, go Apple. Matter of fact, I'll send you a couple songs. Matter of fact, I'll send you the perfect one first.
Okay. I'm about to say, because I'm not going to go look it up. Because you know how I am. As soon as I'm on vacation, as soon as we log off, I'm like,
at least till Wednesday.
Going back to my life. Yeah.
I'll send you the perfect song just for you to really get to know who the City Girls are.
All right. Bring it.
Don't forget, we are back Wednesday. Married at First Sight. Where are they now? And we decided we're going to do it a little different. Forget them. Where are we now after this long ass season? So we'll watch the episode. We'll come on and talk about it. But we also want to hear what you have to say from the season as a whole, and and ask any questions you have about it, and just your thoughts on the season. So we'll do it that way. We invite you into the chat. We'll we'll pin the link in here so that you can join, jump on camera, and let's have some discussions.
Yeah, I was about to say, make sure it's clear that this is not just commenting in the chat. We're gonna invite you to come on camera with us. Mm-hmm. And let's just have some discussions. We'd love to hear some of your feedback or thoughts on not just the Where They Are episode, but on the whole season.
Yeah.
So when you're coming on camera, let's just make sure we're camera ready. Put some chapstick on. Whatever you got to do. You don't have to get all.
Did he put cologne and perfume on?
They don't have to, but if that makes you feel good, if that makes you feel good about you should do that. I put on a little Versace today because I just wanted to smell nice for myself. But just saying. But also keep in mind that we need to control the conversation, and please don't come on trying to get crazy, because I can totally see someone doing that. Hey, thank you, regular guys. Trump 2024. Just like somebody just jumping in going crazy. Like, stop. Let me just stop.
Hey, it's going to be a fun time, man. Looking forward to it. I'm Yanni Rude.
I'm Just Terrell.
Make sure you follow us at Yanni Rude, at Just Terrell, and at RGRT Pod.
Yeah, send us some of your random thoughts or some of the bullshit you found on the internet. We'll talk about it on our regular show.
It's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.